I'm actually very excited for our class today. We're going to be focusing on opening up the hips. You guys have probably heard me use the term hip flexors a lot. And we're going to actually go into what that means, some specific muscles, and what opening up our hips can do for us. I'm actually very excited for our class today. So we can get started. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to our gentle yoga class. I'm very excited to have you both here with me today. So if you want to grab onto any sort of prep to get started, we can place that underneath the sits bones. Only if that feels comfortable for you today. If not, you can always just stay nice and grounded on the floor. But a prop underneath the sits bones can allow us to tilt our pelvis forward, find that nice beautiful length that we're looking for in the spine. Awesome, so you can allow the hands to relax, palm down onto the knees if that feels comfortable. Eyes can close, or we can find our nice beautiful soft gaze, whatever feels best for us today. Maybe take a couple rocking motions, a couple motions to settle, rocking back and forth, rocking side to side, coming to stillness when we feel our spine settle into that nice neutral position where the crown of the head is reaching up toward the sky, where we feel nice and tall, but the sits bones are beautifully rooted. Begin by noticing the quality of the breath today. No need to change just yet for a few rounds of breath. Just settle in. Notice the breath as it is right now. How does it flow throughout the body? Are there any areas of tightness or of looseness, of fluidity as we settle on our inhale and exhale? You can begin deepening the breath at this point in time, gently and consciously lengthening our inhalations and our exhalations. If you'd like, you can exhale audibly out the mouth. Gently deepening the breath, feeling the breath move throughout the torso. Check in with the space around you for a moment, noticing the quality of the air, noticing any sounds. Attune to the physical body. Feel the gentle warmth of your palms relaxed on the knees. Feel your sits bones beautifully rooted, supported by your mat. Feel the breath expand the torso. Expand and move throughout the torso. Allow this belly to be soft. Allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. Allow the muscles of the face to relax, letting go of any tension. Beautiful. Continue to breathe deeply, nice and slow. And ask yourself, how are you feeling today? Check in with your emotional body. How are you feeling on this early Friday afternoon? Just taking a couple rounds of breath to check in with our emotions. Give them some space. Take maybe one more full round of breath. Gently shift your attention now to the quality of your mind, your thoughts, noticing how the thoughts feel. If we're stuck in the past or rushing forward, reaching for the future. future. No need to change or fix. Just let that be as it is for a full round of breath. Beautiful. We can begin incorporating our lovely Dirga breath at this point in time. If that feels nice for you today, if we like our little self-assessed right hand can land on the low belly, left hand can land on the heart, over the heart. Our lovely 3-part Dirga breath is a very grounding tool. I encourage you to return to it throughout your practice or even throughout the rest of your day. Very beautifully calming breath. So we inhale the first third into the low belly, feeling the belly press outward into the palm. The breath expands upward into the rib cage. We feel the intercostal muscles between the ribs lift and peel apart. Finally, the breath expands all the way up into the chest, the heart space. We feel the clavicle rise toward the chin. Exhale completely, chest, ribs, and belly. Feeling enable the belly button draw in toward the spine. And we move right back into the inhale. Maybe notice if you can expand this breath to the back body as well. So allowing this breath to fill you in all directions. Beautiful. Continue with our lovely Dirga breath if it feels comfortable for you today. If not, you can always let that go. Return to our lovely conscious deep inhales and exhales. Feel the breath fill you up completely, filling you with whatever you may need. Exhale anything that is no longer serving you. Today, I'm very excited for our topic for today. We're going to be focusing on the hips and the hip flexors. That's a term that you've definitely heard me throw around throughout class, hip flexors. So continue with your lovely Dirga breath as I describe a couple muscles, a couple of the important muscles that we'll be focusing on today. I've already discussed the psoas muscle that originates in the lumbar spine, the lowest part of the back, wraps around the hips and connects to the femur. That's one of an extremely important hip flexor. We also have the Iliacus muscle, pretty sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, which originates from the iliac crest, the crests in our hips, connects to the psoas and also to the femur. And then finally we have our rectus femoris muscle that connects from the hip all the way to the kneecap, a part of our intricate quadriceps. So the hip flexors are extremely important because they do a motion that we think is very simple, but is actually very important for our range of motion. The hip flexors allow us to lift our knee and pull our knee in toward our body. But when these muscles are tight, we increase the load on the lower back. And because we are in a culture of sitting, we're often sitting and dumping all of our weight onto these beautifully intricate muscles in the hips. So we're going to focus on opening and stretching all of these beautiful intricate muscles today to try to decrease that load that we dump on our lower back. So hopefully by the end of class today, our hips will feel nice and open, and our back, our low back in particular, will feel nice and loose. But I will ask us to be mindful, as the hips are also a location where we store a lot of emotions. We store a lot of emotions in our hips, and when we open these muscles that can become very tight, we can also experience a very deep energetic release. So I will ask you throughout our practice today, as we focus on these beautiful muscles, our hip flexors, to also be very mindful of any emotions that may come up for you. If anything physically or emotionally feels too intense, always that option to pull back, okay? Awesome. So I know I just threw a lot of information at you, so take a couple more deep breaths. Let all of that go. I'll guide you through it. You only have to focus on the breath and how it all feels. All right. We can let go of the Dirga breath at this point in time, or we can continue with that if you'd like. We'll take a moment, we'll place our hands at heart center, set a personal intention for your practice today. Anything that rings true for you, anything at all. Take a full round of breath. Allow yourself to settle on that intention. Whatever you may need throughout your practice today. Take a nice slow inhale to seal in that intention. Exhale, you can release it out into the universe to figure out all of the details. Hands can relax back down onto the knees. All right, we'll begin with some gentle shoulder rolls. You can keep the eyes closed or open them at this point in time if you'd like. I'm going to inhale, squeeze the shoulders up toward the ears. Exhale, let it go. Shoulder blades melt down the back. Inhale, squeeze, create tension if you'd like. Create fists, squeeze the muscles of the face. Exhale, let it all go. A couple more times. Inhaling up, creating tension. Maybe furrowing the brow. Exhale, letting it melt away. One last time. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, let that go. Awesome. We're going to do some beautiful seated cat-cows to open up our spine. It incorporates some interlaced fingers to open up the shoulders a little bit as well. So we can inhale the arms up to shoulder height. Gently interlace the fingers and flip the palms of the hands away from you so the heels are pressing out away from the body. All right, as we inhale, we're going to arch the back. Fingers are going to reach toward the sky. Arch the back, crack open the heart space, and look up. Exhale, round. Hands release down as the back rounds, chin tucks toward the chest. Inhale up, arching, cracking open the heart space. Exhale, round, releasing. If this doesn't feel good for the shoulders, you can always release the hands down to the knees. So continue at your own pace, moving with the breath, inhaling to arch, exhaling to round and release. One more time, one more cat. And one more cow. Take your time, enjoying all the stretch of all of these intricate, beautiful muscles along the spine. When you're all done, we'll inhale the arms back up to shoulder height. Exhale, release, letting that go. Awesome. If you still have that prop underneath your seat, you can move that off to the side. We're moving into bound angle. So if you know you'd like to keep that prop close by, or if you'd like to keep the prop underneath the sits bones for bound angle, you can feel free to do that, okay? So we're going to uncross the legs. You can take a moment, maybe stretch them out long, so they've been tucked in for a little bit. Maybe shake it out. Wiggle the knees. You can maybe point and flex those feet. Wiggle the toes. Just allow the blood to flow back downward for a moment. Awesome. We will come into bound angle, so bend the knees. Allow the soles of the feet to touch. Ankles can be as close or as far from the body as you'd like. Feel your sits bones nice and rooted into the earth. Nice soft hands. So I know I tend to grip. I can grip a little bit here. I can grip the ankles very tightly, so allow the hands to be soft. Inhale, crown of the head reaches up toward the sky. Exhale, hinge forward, leading with the heart. If we round, that's okay. Just try to make sure it's conscious rounding. hinge forward, feeling our very first stretch of these beautiful, beautiful hip flexors. Sending the breath wherever it may be needed. If you'd like, with each inhale, you can imagine that the crown of the head is reaching up toward the sky, creating a little bit of length in the spine. With each exhale, you can hinge a little deeper. Have a nice soft belly. Check in. Notice if there's any tension that you can let go of. Furrowed brow, clenched fingers. Relax the shoulder blades away from the ears. Take maybe 3 more full rounds of breath here. Allowing your attention to settle on any sensation you may be experiencing. One more beautifully full round of breath. On your next inhale, we'll gently rise, coming back to center. Exhale, you can let that go. Awesome, we'll extend the legs long. Again, you can take a second, wiggle it out. Again, if you'd like. All right, we're going to come to our wide-legged forward bend. So be mindful if the hips are super, super tight, you can always have that option to bend one knee, okay? Or we can simply keep the legs together. But if we want to stretch it out a little bit, explore range of motion, we can begin walking the legs apart, coming into a wide-legged seated position, so walk the legs apart. It can really help to, I know I've said this in the past, but it can really help to grab onto the glutes and physically move them to the side. Grab onto that muscle so you can feel beautifully rooted. It really does help me. But I always giggle at myself when I give that cue. Okay, so we'll inhale, sweep the arms up, out, and around. Reach the fingertips toward the sky. Exhale, fold forward, hinging forward. Again, trying to maintain that nice flat back. It doesn't matter how far you go. It doesn't matter. Only until you feel that beautiful sensation. Beautiful stretch. All of the intricate muscles around our hips. Again, same kind of concept can apply here. With each inhale, you can imagine yourself growing nice and tall. With each exhale, you can imagine hinging forward. A little bit more. Take maybe 3 more full rounds of breath. Being mindful of any emotions that may come up. One more full round of breath with a nice soft belly. On your next inhale, gently rise, coming back to center. Awesome. We'll walk the feet in. I kind of slid my feet in there, but you get the gist. So walk your feet back in, wiggle it out. Wiggle the knees, point and flex the feet. Let that go, feeling the energy. Relax and release. Awesome. We'll come into table. So sweep the legs to one side and roll over the knees. Come into our table. Ooh. In table, hands should be underneath shoulders and knees underneath hips. Always the option to come up onto fists or to place that prop, fold it up, place it underneath the knees if knees are feeling sensitive. All right, we'll do some beautiful table circles. So just begin rotating the torso in a circle. One big circle, nice big circle in one direction. Inhaling as the torso reaches out over the wrists, exhaling as the sits bones sink back toward the heels. Begin to incorporate a little bit of cat-cow motion here, arching and rounding the low back. Gently opening up the hips and the shoulders. When you feel complete, switch the direction of your circle. finding something you enjoy about this motion. You can close the eyes to drop into the body a little bit more if you'd like. All right, one more nice big circle. Take your time and allow yourself to come back to your neutral table. Awesome. All right, well, inhale. As we exhale, peek over your right shoulder. Kind of, not intensely, but gently kind of cinching, bringing the right shoulder closer to the right hip as you expand the left side body. Inhale, back to center, and exhale, look out over your left shoulder, expanding the right side body this time. Do this little motion, inhaling back to center, exhaling, peeking out over one shoulder, just to get a little bit of a side stretch. Move with the breath. Take one more on each side, peeking out over the right and the left, just moving with the breath. Very gentle motion. Inhale back to center and exhale, we'll let it go. Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to come down onto our stomachs. So, preparing for Cobra or Sphinx. So come down onto the forearms and gently walk the legs back. Coming down onto your belly. All right, make sure the hands land. So we're going to have two options here. Play around with it, see what you'd rather do. So for the moment, allow the entire body to relax down onto the mat. Chin can relax down, take maybe a full round of breath. We can either come up to Cobra or to Sphinx. So in Cobra, the hands plant directly underneath the shoulders, and we gently press into the fingertips, arching the back to rise up. We're not dumping all of our weight or into our hands, only using the hands to rise. It's almost as if we could lift the hands and the torso would stay where it is. If you want to come into Sphinx, you simply place the the elbows underneath the shoulders. Allow the forearms to relax and the palms to relax down. So whatever posture you want to do, Sphinx or Cobra, we'll take 5 full rounds of breath wherever we are. Feeling a gentle expansion in the chest. Full and complete rounds of breath. You can even look up if you'd like. Beautiful little gentle back bend. One more full round of breath. We'll exhale and release all the way down. Create a pillow for your head with your hands and allow either cheek to relax down, looking to one side. Allow yourself to melt down onto the mat. Full rounds of breath. Expanding that breath into the back body. Or wherever else it may be needed right now. Awesome. We're going to come into half frog, which is honestly a beautiful posture, in my opinion, a very, very gentle posture. I have not taught it before, so it'll be new for all of us, but it's very gentle. It'll be very good to open up our hips. So from here, all we have to do is bend our right leg and allow the knee to come up as far as feels comfortable. If it can come all the way up so it's in line with our right hip, that's awesome. And the leg stays relaxed on the ground. If it doesn't feel comfortable to come all the way up, you can come halfway up, just playing around with your range of motion here. And this is our half frog. That's all it is. Relax one cheek down, it can be the same or the opposite cheek. And take full rounds of breath here. This is a beautiful posture for releasing the low back. Sending the breath to our open hip space and our low back. Taking full rounds of breath. If this doesn't feel comfortable for us, you can always come to a child's pose. Anything else that might feel good for you. One more complete round of breath, allowing yourself to completely melt into the mat with your exhale. We'll inhale, allow the head to come back to center, the chin can relax down onto the hands. As we exhale, gently straighten that right leg, allowing it to extend long alongside the floor, well, alongside the left leg on the earth. All right, we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Very nice, beautiful posture. So simply bend the left leg, keeping it on the earth, rising it as far as feels comfortable, and notice if it feels different on this side. That's okay. My left hip is feeling a little tighter today, so I'm gonna not bring it all the way up to be in line with my left hip. I'm not gonna bring the knee all the way up to be in line with my hip. I'm gonna leave it a little further down, and that's okay. Allow the entirety of the leg to relax down onto the earth. And we'll flip the head this time. So if your left cheek was on the hands, look the other way. Allow your right cheek to relax down this time. Or vice versa. Sending the breath into the hip space and the low back. The mind begins to wander. Gently remind it to return to this space, to the sensation of our bodies relaxed down, fully supported by the mat. Take one more full round of breath. Inhale and allow the head to come back to center. The chin can relax down onto the hands. As you exhale, gently extend that left leg long. Awesome. Super, super simple posture, but honestly one of my favorites. It's really beautiful for opening up the hips and the low back. Awesome. So from here, we're going to place the hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to press up into our table and sink back into a child's pose. Your choice. You can either have the knees be as wide as the mat, or the knees can be touching. Whatever feels best for you. Either way, sits bones sink back toward the heels. If the knees are wide, the arms extend long. Forehead relaxes down. If the knees are together, you have the option to extend the arms alongside the torso with the palms facing up. Wherever you are, breathe. Allow the forehead to find the mat or prop. Take full rounds of breath, sending your breath to your hip space. Noticing if we've already created a little bit of openness or expansion there. After only a few minutes of connecting with ourselves, breathing and moving. Take one more full round of breath. Exhale completely. On your next inhale, rise up into our neutral table. We'll tuck the back toes, lift the knees, come into our very first down dog of the day. Take a couple moments before you integrate any motion Check in, make sure that your foundations are nice and strong, pressing down all all 10 knuckles, all 10 fingers, elbows rotated in toward one another, the inside edges of the elbows rotated in. Heels gently pressing down toward the earth, but they do not have to touch. Always the option to increase the bend in the legs if the hamstrings are tight or the back is rounded. All right, take one more full round of breath. As you exhale, you can begin incorporating some motion, walking or pedaling your dog by bending one knee, driving the opposite heel toward the earth if you'd like, or you can stay nice and stagnant. Whatever feels good for you today. Taking full and complete rounds of breath with a nice soft belly, nice soft brow, and jaw. If you're walking out your dog still, you can come to stillness. We'll inhale. As we exhale, walk your feet toward your hands, coming into ragdoll. Feet planted directly underneath the hips. Maintain a slight micro bend in the knees as you hang. Folding forward. Hanging and relaxing. You can sway side to side if you'd like. You can grab opposite elbows or interlace the fingers around the back of the neck. If you'd like, I like to do this a little bit. You can grab onto your big toes, just to intensify the stretch a little bit, maybe using your big toes to gently, it is a gentle clasp, but just gently pull you down closer toward the earth. Whatever feels good for you. Just breathing. Feeling this beautiful stretch in the hamstrings. Take one more full round of breath. Exhale completely. Inhale and bend the knees dramatically. As you exhale, roll up nice and slow. Take your time. Rebuilding the spine, allow the head to come up last. You can close the eyes or have a nice soft gaze when you come up into our Tadasana. Allow the hands to find heart center. Reconnect with your personal intention as you allow the blood to flow downward. Feel all four corners of your feet pressed into the earth, supporting you. Nice slow inhale. Exhale, you can release the hands, open the eyes. We'll come into Tadasana for a few moments just to really feel our foundation. So take a moment, check in with your feet. Check in with your feet, make sure that they're planted directly underneath the hips, in line with the knees. Maintain that slight micro bend in the knees. We never want to hyperextend and lock out those knees. Take a moment, check in with your pelvis. This can be crucial for some pain in our low back. I'm trying to tighten my shirt a little bit so you guys can see. You can check in with your pelvis, a little self-assist by placing the right hand on the low belly, left hand on the heart space. For a moment, just tilt and tuck your pelvis, arching the low back and releasing. Just becoming a little bit more aware of our pelvis in space. That can cause a decent amount of strain on the low back as well when we're arching, extremely arching. We have an extreme arch in our low back. So when we're in Tadasana, we attempt to lengthen the tailbone down toward the heels, creating beautiful security, So our core is nice and strong, protecting our low back. Awesome. We can come to stillness when we find that nice and neutral position there, when our pelvis feels nice and neutral and strong. Awesome. Create length in the side body as you reach the crown of the head up toward the sky. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades up toward the ears. Exhale, let them go. Melt them down the back. You can keep the hands relaxed. Down next to the fingertips reaching long, now down next to the quads. You can place the hands on the hips. Hands can find heart center. Or we can inhale if shoulders are feeling good. We can inhale, sweep the arms up, out, and around. Biceps come next to the ears. Take a moment and settle into your Tadasana. Maybe noticing how alive you can feel in this very simple, static posture. Maybe going through our cues from ground up in our head again, making sure that our feet are firmly planted. Sorry, a bug flew toward my nose. Slight micro bend in the knees, checking in with our pelvis, lengthening the pelvis down toward the heels. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Take maybe one more full round of breath in your lovely Tadasana. Exhale, if the hands were extended up, you can release that out. Awesome. I just think it's important that we reconnect to our foundations in that way. That we, have that ability to drop in and feel that aliveness in simple static postures. I think that's very important. All right, we're going to move into dancer. So this is going to be a balancing posture. So if you have any trouble with balance, feel free to move close to a wall or grab a chair, anything like that. If we're not at the tops of our mats, we'll head there. Gently shift your weight into your right leg by bending the left knee, tapping the toes a couple times. When you feel nice and stable, nice and secure in that right leg, we will bend the left leg, allowing the heel to come toward the glute, and we can reach around with our left hand, grabbing onto the top of our left foot, pressing equally into the hand, just as equally as the hand is pressing into the foot. Take a round of breath here. If this is enough for you, feel free to stay here. If you want to come into dancer, I'm actually going to step back so I don't tip forward into my window. All right, if you want to come into dancer, we can extend the right arm up to shoulder height and gently begin tipping forward. Tipping forward slowly. Find your drishti, point of focus, as you tip forward, fixated point to stare at. So we tip forward, I lost my balance there. And if you lose your balance, totally okay. Just smile at yourself. Smile at yourself, it's an opportunity to try again. So keep the hips nice and square toward the earth. Press the foot out into the hand. Ooh, this is proving to be a little difficult for me today. That's okay. And we attempt to tip the torso forward as we extend the left foot up toward the sky. Pressing out into the hand. Maintain a slight micro bend in the standing leg. Take 3 full rounds of breath wherever you are. Noticing that gentle arch in the back, maintaining a nice strong core to protect the low back. Inhale and exhale. Gently release, coming back to center. You can release that leg down. Take a moment. Hands find heart center. Feel your right foot. Beautifully connected, rooted into the earth. Balance is beautiful for grounding. It can make us feel very present. All right, awesome. Do the same thing on the other side. So shift your weight into your left leg this time. Tap the toes of the right foot. When you feel all 4 corners of that left foot beautifully planted, We can bend our right leg. Right heel reaches toward the right glute. We reach around and grab on top of that right foot with our right hand. If we feel nice and steady here, we can extend the left arm up at shoulder height. As we exhale, gently begin tipping forward, finding your drishti, torso tips forward, hips staying nice and square toward the earth. Press out into your right hand. If this side feels different, that's great. Notice how it may feel different. If you lose your balance, try and fall gently. Try and fall gently. Try and catch yourself. And if balance is hard, proving to be difficult for you today, then that's okay. I'm kind of in that same boat. Ooh. Wherever you are, simply breathe. Maintain that slight micro bend in the left standing leg. Nice strong core to protect the low back. Take maybe one more full round of breath. As you exhale, come up back to center. Nice and slow with control. Release that right foot down. Allow hands to find heart center. Take a few full rounds of breath. Feeling your left foot. Noticing how you may feel a little bit more even now. Awesome. We can inhale and exhale. Let that go. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. I really don't know why I wore pants today. It's been so hot. All right, my dears. So, from the tops of our mats, we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, out, and around. Exhale, micro bend to the knees, nice flat back as we fold forward, swan dive down. Allow the hands to plant in front of the feet, and we will step back into our down dog. Taking a couple rounds of breath here. If you like, you can pedal out your dog. Walking it out, stretching out those hamstrings that just did a lot of work for us in our dancer. All right, inhale and exhale, come to stillness. From here, we're going to come into low lunge. So, the easier way to do this is if you simply inhale and exhale, drop your knees, coming into table. And then you simply bend your right knee and swing it through, planting the sole of the right foot in between the hands. If you want to attempt doing this from down dog, we can simply shift our weight onto our left leg, bend our right knee, inhale. As we exhale, shift our weight forward, swing that leg through, planting the right foot in between the hands, and lowering our left knee down. So however you want to get into low lunge, from down dog or from table, make your way there. You can untuck the back left toes. We'll inhale, walk the hands up to the right knee or the hips, and exhale, settle into your low lunge. Feeling this gentle stretch in the psoas muscle in the left leg. If you'd like, we can inhale, sweep the arms up, out, and around. Biceps come next to the ears, making sure that our right knee is tracking directly above our right ankle. Inhale and reach the fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, melt the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe smile. All right, one more full round of breath here. As we exhale, fold forward, allow the hands to frame that front right foot. All right, we're going to come into lizard pose. So this is going to intensify the stretch in our psoas muscle. If you don't feel comfortable with that, you can always simply Return to your low lunge, return to a down dog, anything that feels good for you today. So to come into lizard, we're going to tuck the back left toes, walk our left kneecap back an inch or two, and untuck those toes, planting our left kneecap into the earth. This, in and of itself, is going to intensify the psoas stretch in our left leg, so be mindful of that, okay? If we feel okay here, we're simply going to walk our right foot out to the right, widening our stance while making sure that the right knee stays on top of that right ankle. And you can stay here, coming up onto fists and breathing, or we can come down onto forearms. That's even a little difficult for me, so just be mindful of your range of motion today. You need to stay up onto fists or grab a prop, place it underneath the hands to create a little bit more length in the spine, grow a little taller. Feel free to do that. Take 3 full rounds of breath in our lizard pose. Sending the breath to our intricate and beautiful hip flexors. Maintaining a nice flat back. One more inhale. Exhale, gently begin walking the right foot in, so it's back in line. We will tuck the left toes, walk that left kneecap back in, so we come back into our regular low lunge. Awesome, we'll plant the hands, swing that right foot back and around, coming into table. So from here, we can simply swing our left foot through. Bend our left leg, swing it through. If you want to go up to down dog and enter our low lunge the same way as we did last time, feel free to do that. But we can also, from our table, simply bend our left leg, swing it through, coming into low lunge. All right, inhale, walk the hands up to the left knee. Exhale, settle. Checking in with our left knee, making sure we're not dumping all of our weight into either hip, keeping those hips nice and even. If we feel good here, we can inhale, sweep the arms up, out, and around. Biceps come next to the ears. Taking full rounds of breath, wherever we are. Engaging our beautiful strong quads, so we're not just dumping all of our weight into our hips. All right, inhale, reach the fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Coming into / preparing for our lizard. All right, we're going to tuck the back right toes, walk that kneecap back, increasing that stretch in our right psoas this time. Only go as far as feels good for you. Okay, you can untuck those toes, and we'll walk the left foot out this time. Again, making sure that that ankle and the knee are in a beautiful line, making sure that knee isn't falling inward or splaying outward. Wherever you are, breathe. You can come up onto fists. Grab a prop. Maintain your nice flat back, sending your breath into the hip space. If the stretch is too intense, back off, okay? No need to push, no need to strain. Wherever you are, breathe. Take one more full round of breath. Exhale and begin walking that left foot back in. You can tuck the right toes, walk that right kneecap back in as well. Coming into our low lunge. All right, hands plant underneath the shoulders. We'll inhale and exhale, swing that left leg back through, coming into our table. Allow the knees to be nice and wide, coming into a wide kneed, sounds weird, child pose, if that feels comfortable for you today. Allow the sits bones to sink back toward the heels. Arms extend long. Forehead finds the earth or a prop. Breathe. Expanding the breath to the back body. Allowing the breath to fill you completely with whatever you may need. Take maybe 3 more full rounds of breath. One more full inhale. Exhale, walk the hands toward the knees and the torso to rise up into a seated position. All right, we're going to make our way down onto our backs. So however you want to do that, we're going to make our way there. Just going to turn myself around. Make your way onto your back. Relaxing all the way down. We're going to keep the knees bent and the soles of the feet in line with the hips. Almost like we are in our bridge or preparing for bridge, but we're not. All right, we're going to come into a reclined figure 4. So what we're going to do, torso is extended long alongside along the mat. Knees are bent. We're going to lift our right foot off of the earth and cross the right shin, the right ankle over the left quad, pressing the right knee away from us. If this stretch is intense enough as it is, then you can stay here. If you'd like to intensify the stretch, we will lift our left foot off of the earth, keeping the left calf in line and parallel with the mat. Keeping our left foot nice and active, and we can interlace the fingers around the back of the left quad. Actively pressing that right knee away to intensify the stretch. Take maybe 3 or 4 full rounds of breath here. Allowing yourself to relax a little more with each exhale. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale. Allow the left foot to relax down. We'll uncross the right leg. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So gently cross the left leg over this time. Left ankle plants on the right knee, or on the right quad, not on the knee. Sorry, just below the knee. This is intense enough. Stay here. If we want to make it a little bit more intense, we'll lift the right foot off of the earth this time, keeping that right calf parallel or about parallel with the earth. Keeping both feet nice and flexed, pressing the left knee gently away to open up hip space a little bit more. Take full and complete rounds of breath here. Sending the breath wherever it may be needed to any areas of tightness. Inhale. Nice long exhale as you release the right foot down. Uncross that left leg. We'll take one moment, squeeze the knees in toward the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug, rock side to side. Releasing the low back. If you'd like, you can come into happy baby. Pulling the knees in toward the armpits as you grab onto the big toes. If you're an happy baby, you can extend one leg long, extend another leg long, extend both legs long. Either posture, rocking side to side to gently release the low back. Awesome. Inhale. Exhale. Give yourself one more nice big squeeze, hugging the knees in toward the chest, thanking your hip flexors for all that they can do for you. They are the reason you can give yourself a nice big hug. Inhale. Exhale, extend the legs long, preparing for Shavasana. Relax all the way down. If the low back is still feeling tight, we can bend the knees, planting the soles of the feet on the earth in line with the hips, or we can grab a prop, roll it up, place it underneath the knees. Hands can relax onto the earth, extended alongside the torso with the palms up. Take a couple full rounds of breath, maybe a couple deeper breaths to let go of our practice, to return to this space. When you feel ready, you can release all focus on the breath, returning to your normal, natural rhythm of breathing. Feel your bones heavy and supported by the earth beneath you. Feel your muscles unwinding, unraveling, relaxing. For the next few moments, allow yourself to soak in the beautiful sensations of being alive, being still, feeling all of that energy that we created over the last hour dissipate and relax you. If your attention, if you find that your attention gets pulled anywhere, if the mind begins to wander, that beautiful monkey mind, just gently redirect it to here and now, to the sensation of your body relaxing down onto the earth. You are more than enough, just as you are, right now. If you do not feel complete, that was definitely a shorter Shavasana, so if you feel like you need more time to integrate, to relax, please feel free to stay where you are. If you're feeling ready to come out, we can introduce motion in any way that feels good for us right now. Wiggling fingers and toes, maybe taking a nice big sigh, maybe stretching, taking a full body stretch. Only if you feel complete, we can hug our knees in toward our chest, roll over onto whatever side may be calling us. Taking a full round of breath here. If we feel complete, we can gently come up to a seated position. I think Joanne and Sarah had to run. That's totally okay. Close out our practice, placing hands at heart center. Take a nice, slow inhale. Exhale and bow. Jai Bhagwan. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much, so much for joining me today. I hope you have